Hello and welcome to Saturday Satisfactory stream. We're streaming Satisfactory all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. My name's Trismegistus, and this marks the return of this series after a bit of a hiatus where I was focusing on Dyson Sphere program, which series ended a few weeks ago, and then I took a little bit of a holiday. Why is that? Oh, there we go. That's the correct screen. There we go. Why is that not working? Hang on a sec. Technical difficulties. Right. Oh, I need to put that on as well. There we go. Is there sound? Yeah, there's sound. Right. Coming in a bit hot. I was a bit sort of late to this. I completely lost track of time. I was actually playing this morning, which is part of the reason why I lost track of time. I picked up yesterday, and I sort of outlined the plan. Basically, is to get the desert exploited. That's taking a very long time to load up, isn't it? There we go. I was literally just playing 2 minutes ago. I was bringing us back home, back to base. Yes, so the plan for the weekend for this restart of the series is to get the desert exploited. And I was going around this morning. Yesterday I put miners on all of these. Not these. Did I do them? No, I didn't do them. I haven't done these ones here, but all of these here have mining, miners on them. And I went around this morning and connected them all up to power. And it might still be on the graph. Where's a power pole? Can I find a power pole? Yeah, it might still be on the graph. Probably not, though. Oh, no, of course it restarts it every time you start, don't you? But basically now, you see how the max consumption is now above the max production? That's because I've connected all the miners up, so they should be. I mean, obviously it's not. The factory's not really running properly, so this is why this is the real consumption. But it's about 720 megawatts because none of them are overclocked yet, and they're only level 2 miners, so it's not too much power demand, and we should be okay. We should be able to build a bit of a factory today. And not sort of blow the power, but I'm going to have to add a load more fuel because ultimately we need to switch to nuclear, I guess. That's what you're meant to do, but we've not unlocked those technologies yet. I did also, in the top right corner, you can see the I put the Caterium wire in and I handcrafted all those filters up. So we just need to sort of unlock aluminium. What I may do, whether we'll do it on these streams or not, I don't know. But there's an aluminium node up there. It's obviously not that much production, but we could go and exploit that and just sort of work out the aluminium chain in a little mini factory up the top there. Because we can always zoop our way up, sort of thing. And just to work out how to make these aluminium claddy thingies or whatever it calls them. Because we only need 50 for that milestone. But what we need to do now is we need to restock because there is a container with a load of stuff in. But you see I picked up all this junk while I was... Because I obviously put the power lines down the canyon. But we need to grab... I had to use up a lot of ammo. It's going to lock me out, isn't it? Because it's not particularly efficient, the rifle. I really like it, but it's not... I would not classify it... Oh, it's locked me out. Okay. I would not classify it as an efficient piece of technology. Are you done yet? There we go. Do we need some more of them? Not really, but might as well do that. Can we stack them? No. I don't get why it doesn't properly load them up. It's all a bit weird, that, to me, but whatever. So that was the ammo. So if we go and put some of that in the car. I would have done this bit, but it was literally when I drove up 5 minutes before I hit live sort of thing. So I've not had a chance to... am I going to need all that ammo? No, let's put some of it in there. Is that the way around? Yeah. What's that? Fuel. Do I need more fuel? I should be okay, I think. I did fuel it up. Yeah, that'll do. That'll get us a couple of trips back and forth. The fuel isn't very efficient for things. The actual solid biofuel seems to be more efficient because it stacks to 200. That's all fine, I think, isn't it? So if we go and get rid of these slugs that I randomly picked up, the plan is to, well, that was the thing. There was an update 6 announcement video yesterday. They're going to switch to doing smaller updates, which I think is good. And they're going to explain what's in the updates before they launch them. Which I think is also good. They must be so close to finishing now, really. What am I doing in there? So we want, is it slugs in there? Slugs in there. Slugs. Then bio stuff is all over here. But yeah, so they have confirmed, oh no, that wants to go in. Yeah, isn't it? They have confirmed that the Spire Coast is getting reworked to the extent that people need to move their factories. So, where's the... Oh, it's all in there. Okay. Yeah, I picked up a couple of them as I was going. Have I got room? No. Top that off. Don't really need to carry that around. Yeah, so what we want is... Because I used up loads and loads of cable, basically. So we want loads of cable. Which is only on... I think it's on the 3rd floor. From memory. And then we can get over there. Do I want any rods or anything? We could have a look and see if there's any screws come in. I suspect not. In anything resembling... Oh, I could grab them. Yeah, I'm there. Okay. Maybe top that off as a full stack. And we could have a look. Pipes was the big thing that was missing. Oh, we've got a full thing now. Okay. Do I need pipes for anything though? It would be more useful to find... Now, where are the... I bet you're doing... Yeah, you're doing them, aren't you? So if I cut this off, then it'll fill them up while we're away as well. Okay. Now, is that everything? No, cable. I haven't even got the cable that I wanted. This is not the cable that I wanted. Right, so that should be the next floor up, I think. Oops. I keep getting stuck on something now. I don't know if that's because of a geometry change that happened with update 5 or not. I don't know. But yeah, update 6 is going to completely rework the Spire Coast. So we kind of can't really go and... Oh, more. Let's just grab some more. Don't really want to do anything there in particular. And of course that's one of the big oil areas. So... there may be a bit of a pause on progress, but they said that obviously this is, you know, with the caveat that, you know, it's game development, so it's going to end up being later, but they're planning for the 6th of June for the, was it 6th? Early June, I think they said, for the update 6, but it's meant to be a smaller update, you see. I think the idea, I know they talked about smaller updates, from what they're saying, I think it's more variable length updates in the sense of they'll just do an update when they've got something to update now. Because I think they're trying to get to version 1.0, I would suspect by Christmas. That's probably a bit ambitious, but perhaps end of the financial year or something. So anything we couldn't grab was them. But it's not really making them. Okay. So I'll head over. And then we need to kind of decide where we're going to build this factory. I was crunching some numbers. Trying to work out how much I need. It's a bit bonkers. So this game is quite a bad example of the scaling issue you get in a lot of factory games. where it suddenly ramps up and you need gigantic amounts of everything to produce anything at a reasonable, anything high level at a reasonable volume. So I'm planning on doing basically, well, 4 a minute. Actually, I'll probably end up settling on 2 a minute of the highest level things that we need to load into the space elevator. And 3 times. So some of them are 4 times as big, the amount that you need. So scaling on that. So like the nuclear pasta, we try and do 4 a minute, and then when that fails, be happy with 2 a minute. Because you need 1,000 of them, so that's 500 minutes, which is, what's that? That's about 8 hours or something, just to run them through. But we also need overproduction of everything else, so that we can, build factories and etc. Whee! Okay. Yeah, I'll just show you the... I mean, I literally just ran a power line. There's nothing spectacular about it. Ultimately, it'll be on a train, I would guess, coming down here. But here we go. This is the power line connection, just to the main factory. Just there. For some reason, I thought they had like power switches in this game. But I mean, they do on devices, but I thought you could have, a power switch to turn the power on and off, because I wanted to put one in there. Just so that I could turn this section of the section off in case it turned out to be too much power, but couldn't work out how to do that. Yeah, so this is just the power line going along. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy because I was trying to avoid certain beasties and avoid the gas and, and that sort of thing. Had a heart attack back there when that spider, because I was there at night and the spider, big spider, spawned and almost killed me actually. I was completely forgot that it spawned now. Whoops. Yeah, so there's a little bit of resources along the side here. I have hooked them up. Where are they? They're a bit further up, I think, aren't they? Unless I've driven past them. Oh no, there we go. So there's some resources. They're hooked up, but quite how I plumb them in, I'm not sure. I'm sort of anticipating that what I'm going to do is essentially feed all of the miners into a train station, essentially, because I haven't really been doing anything with smart splitters, but and I think we can use them as like an overflow device. So I have the iron go to the factories that are here, but then when they're full, or there's too much, you get back pressure because we're not using everything we're mining. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. That it overflows into a train, basically. We can send that wherever. That's my current thinking, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, idea is to, with this factory, they're very squashy. They're reworking. One of the things they're doing with the update is reworking the enemies. There's a hint that they're going to possibly put some new ones in, but see, what I'm wondering, where are we on the map? Because I say we want the train line, going that way predominantly. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to make all the lower level stuff, so the rods and screws in satellite factories, and I need to decide what level I'm going to there, and then we'll have this sort of valley, it's not valley, but this sort of plain We won't move the space elevator or anything, so the very highest level stuff, so the nuclear pasture and whatever, will probably be made in our existing main factory. But I need to decide at what level the lower level factories stop. So, you know, am I making production? Where's production? Equipment workshop. Oops. So, oh, I got the wrong one, haven't I? It's the wrong one. Craft bench, there we go. So, you know, do we make crystal? Because at the moment the factory is getting tons and tons of those delivered, quartz crystal. But would it be better to make crystal ocelots, you know, somewhere else and bring them in? And what level do I stop that at? So, you know, I don't anticipate we'll make any. I've obviously got lots of resources there, so we probably should do. But you know, at what point? So you know, wires, high-speed connectors. We want everything basically. But do I make circuit boards remotely? I think I probably will. But then do I make computers at the main factory? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of where in the hierarchy do I stop with the remote factories? I think it's a volume thing, I think is the real thing. So things we need very large volumes of are making a dedicated factory and train over. So maybe copper sheets, I think we need quite a lot of them. And steel pipes and steel beams. So I'll make them all in remote factories. But then, you know, where do we stop? So, you know, computers, I think, are probably going to be made at the main factory. Or if not the main factory, then a factory very close to it. To give me the option to do a bus, you know, to take things over by a belt rather than trains. Because I find trains a bit unwieldy in this game, if I'm totally honest. But what I'm thinking is we kind of, effectively, I build a raised factory here, and we'll have a level that is trains. It's going to be, because this is sort of the not knowing how big everything needs to be. It's just going to be probably enormous, and like that entire area, like but elevated. And then we need to get all of the belts in, basically. And that's kind of what I'm planning for today. And what I'm thinking, as I say, is that the actual ore goes to the main factory and then overflows into trains that we can send it to other factories. Because we still got, you know, we got the planes and stuff that we need to exploit more as well. But these are going to be the two main areas, I think. We could always build over the water. You know, we could do that as well. You know, because, you know, there's quite a big expanse of water here that we could build a big factory on. But yeah, so I say that's my thought. So essentially, I need to decide where I'm going to start, and how high I need to go, because I want to avoid. I don't want to have these poking through. So I guess if we work out, maybe if we work out how high it would need to be, so that this didn't poke through. It's going to end up. It's probably going to end up being quite dangerous because I'm bound to fall off the edge. But I mean, it kind of means, unfortunately, I mean, it's a really grindy game in my opinion. I've come to realise. So if this was, say, you know, this isn't the foundation, but how high would we need to go? So if we do, should we just use concrete ones because they're quite cheap? How many is that? Is that going to be tall enough? Let's have a look, see. So if I just do a ramp, foundations, ramp, and sort of connect it on there. If I hit zoom, oh no, don't want to zoom in that direction. Zoom to there, please. Okay. So how high are we here? Is this high enough? No. So, well, a couple more maybe. What's the quickest way up there? If we get a, isn't ladders under? No, it isn't, is it? Where are the ladders? Architecture? There we go. Get a ladder on here. I don't know, is this high enough? Might be close. Let's go over. Let's sort of head over in that direction. Oops. Forgotten. Oh dear. There you go. That's what I'm going to keep doing. No, it's not quite high enough, is it? So, if we put a sort of foundation on the top of that, isn't there a way of... Because there's meant to be like a universal grid that you can clip to now. So I put one there. Oh. Right now. If I put one on top. You know, actually, if we... Yeah. We do a... if I turn the zoom off. Like that. And then our base level... So it's... No, which is the... Isn't it? No. There we go. So if this is our factory foundation, as it were, you know, this is where we're gonna... Very rusty with the controls. Base our factory on. Then I need a way of getting up to there. Well, let's put it on the back. Because I don't know, I don't know how big it's going to end up being. Pretty enormous, I think, because intending for it to be sort of all one. No. I will remember the controls after a while. No. That one. There we go. That one. And then we want soup. Turn that around. Take it down. That wasn't very long. There we go. Oh dear, no. Oh dear. Yeah. I was trying to jump across to it and then just sort of fell to the floor. You meant this like hover pack, but I haven't technically unlocked it yet. I think it's one of the next ones that I need to do, basically. Is the hover pack. Because I'll do my usual thing where I make it look like these are, you know, supported from underneath later on. So, you know, because you don't actually need supports for anything in this game. So is this... Okay. It triggers my vertigo. As I said this before when I've been doing this sort of building. I guess that counts as immersion, does it? I don't know. I sort of... I get the same wobbly feeling I do when I'm on a high height. Especially doing this, or I'm walking towards things that are building as I'm walking onto them. No. I'm just going to build a big platform, basically. So that we can sort of put a sort of set of trains on it. Or a train station, basically, to work out how high it needs to be. Because I want to do kind of hidden floors, maybe. But I also don't want my sort of desire to make it look a bit pretty. I mean, it takes another 2 years to finish the factory. I've got tons of concrete. There's loads in that thing as well, which is why I'm building it all out of concrete. Probably want something a bit fancier. How big is that then? Big as the eye can see. Awesome. So, if we... I'm sort of thinking a big train floor. And we can have both raw materials being loaded in. Because this is going to be one of those places where there's more raw material being generated than is being used. So we do want the excess to... I could make some... I was thinking, it just occurred to me, I could make some umbrellas. Some parachutes, couldn't I? They're a bit tricky to use them, though. Because you have to have them selected. Before you fall off. But yeah, what I really need is the jetpack. But I've not actually unlocked that technology yet. I don't think. Certainly couldn't build it anyway. I'm guessing there's a mod, but it would be good if you could set the length of zoom. And maybe they make... should have made 10 the default, but say 50 the maximum or something. It's up to you how big you make it. Because 10 in terms of floors is like difficult to see further than that. So that's fine, but with walls it's a bit of a different story. Right. Okay. Oh, I think I nearly fell through then. Right. We could go a bit further up, couldn't we? Still plenty of underspace. Is this going to be enough? Well, is it ever enough? Yeah, I think that's a sort of big enough platform to get us started. So, let's fill it in. So we're not short of concrete, so might as well do this now that we have. It's easy doing it at this end, isn't it? Now that we have the power of Zoop. So what else did they say in that thing last night? So in the updates about exploration, they're a bit vague, if I'm totally honest, about exactly what that meant. Talked about map updates, both in terms of tweaking the map. The only one they said they're definitely doing is the Spire Coast. But I know they do want to make changes to some other bits of the map. Polish them up, basically. It's not really changing anything else. Just polishing. And if they do what they did with the forest area, which looks awesome now, I very much welcome that, but I don't think that's coming in this update. But they've also doing some tweaks to map, the UI, like map UI, which that'll be quite welcome. It's a bit wonky, the map, in my opinion. It should have waypoints and markers on it. A mini map would be good as well. Oh, we are out of concrete. I'm saying that we got tons of it, and then I've used it all up. Actually, we could try and stick in. I don't think it'll let me do it because I need concrete to build it, don't I? So if we were putting a train station in, yeah, I need concrete and whatchamacallit frames. Actually, if I made this too high, because we're gonna, if I just use regular, oh no, I've fallen off and very nearly killed myself. Wow. Okay, that wasn't good. Maybe we put some handrails on it. That's the third time within 20 minutes. Oh, there's a slug down there. Yeah, where did I leave? Well, where's my car? Where have I put car? Car's all the way down there. The stuff is in a big chest over there. It's probably just as far to walk over there as it is to go and collect the car. Because that's it now. Okay. In fact, how much room? Not quite. I could pop that in. Give me an inventory slot and we can top that up. I'm just wondering if I can deconstruct this. I don't think I can. No. Oh! There's no concrete in here. Oh. Okay. Huh. Right. Got kind of everything else. I say we're a bit short of them fundamentally, but I can make all of the, temporary belts with like just the regular iron plate. I was not expecting. I thought I'd left a ton of concrete in here, but I clearly have not. Right. So, that was foolish. Let me think. Because what we could do is just set up a little bit, because there's some limestone very close to here. It's not marked, but it's over here. So we could just set up a little production thing for limestone. Where the heck is it? It's over here somewhere. It's very close. Is this it? No, that's iron, isn't it? Where is it? So it's not, I didn't put a bacon on it. Is that? I think that's it there. Because we could make the limestone, make the concrete rather than, because you don't need anything other than limestone to make concrete in this game. From memory. Here we go. Right. What sort of one is it? 6. That means it's impure, doesn't it? That's annoying. I mean, we could make some power slugs. I think they might be in that chest. Okay, let's just stick in some constructors. Oh, can't afford. Oh. Well, that was dumb. Put absolutely everything away in that chest. That was dumb, El Dumbo. I think I've come to the conclusion, by the way, after yesterday's sort of moan about it. Oh. Are you completely unguarded? Oop.
Relaying message. Hello, this is Paternal Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
Paternal Figure. Right, so we want a little bit of everything so that we can build some stuff. Some. I'm not going to take them, but we'll have one of them. Have I got some screws already? I have. We'll put a little of them, a few of those back. Don't need all of that wire and cable. So have I got sort of everything? Got plastic, got rubber. I'll leave the quartz, cable, leave the computers. Did I get heavy modular frames? I didn't, did I? No. Modular frames, them, one of them, one of them, one of them. Okay. Right, so if there's stuff we need for building now, it's because we've not brought it over. I mean, there is another limestone that I've already marked and set up. And I think there's one over in this one here. And there's definitely one there. So we could make several little limestone, concrete factories. Get my light on. But yeah, you see, I mean, these should all be powered. They might have missed a one or two. You see, they've all filled themselves up. But they should all be powered. There's a lot of slugs, aren't there? So there's one there, and one there, and one there, and one there. Right, so let's have another go at that. We need to use a constructor or several, and pop it there, and we'll set it to concrete. That's 15. That's right. It uses 45 a minute. So that's completely imbalanced, isn't it? Because one of these is producing 60. If I was to... Oh, I forgot the... Were they in there? I can't remember. Let's just pop in a craft bench. And we'll make a slug. Because we grabbed a slug? No, we didn't grab a slug. I thought we grabbed a slug. Ah, I bet these are guarded by spiders, aren't they? They're also a fair way away. Wasn't there a slug in the middle here somewhere? Wasn't there one over here? Because I fell off the platform and I was like... Ooh, there's a slug there. There's one of you. Are you gardening slug? If you are, I don't know where that slug is. Oh, do you mind? I've still got the candy cane one from the FICSIT thing. Fixmas. Oh, here we go. Where's one of these lads? Okay. Come on. There we go. Can I just reach that? Or have I got to build a platform? Oh, crikey. Right, so that gives me a blue slug. So that's at least one. So if I crank this up to 150 with that, then it'd be 90 a minute, which would support 2. Quick math. I think that's right. Let's have a look anyway. Right, so power shard, craft, power shard, set, 150. So it'd be half as much again. So it'd be 90 a minute. One of these requires 5, so we can now support 2. Excellent. I think. Fingers crossed. So we want a splitter. Logistics. In fact, I've got them on the hotbar, haven't I? Yeah. So pop a splitter in, say, here. Other way around, please. Say, put it there. Elevated, because it'll be easier. Belt in there. Belt in there. Belt in there. Is that working? Yep. Power these. In fact, that belt's now too slow, isn't it, though? 60 a minute, yeah, so it needs to be level 2 anyway. For that bit. Okay. These need powering. So we'll just pop our thingy there. Cableage there. 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 That's working. That needs to be concrete. We need some output for them. If I just put one them in, because it's got 2 input slots, and we can just whoops, that one in there. Oh, what? Game seems to be absolutely chugging for some reason. That goes in there. Will you now reach up to there? Yes. Right. So that's going to chug away and do some things. Let's go and find my car, and then we'll go and find those other limestone ones, and we'll set up some production there as well. Because we might as well. I'll just use concrete, because you can always switch it over. I'm heading over here, and I don't even know if the car's there. You can always, change it after the fact. You can now, anyway. There we go. There's the car. So you hop in. In fact, has the car got the... No, it hasn't, has it? What the heck have I done? In fact, let's put that rubbish away. I'm guessing I still need a bit more of that. We should health up for when I inevitably fall off or something. So I'll head over to the crater, the big old crater, because there's a limestone there. Crash. You're going to right? There we go. So they're probably the odd one that I've not actually properly hooked up. Maybe I've connected the power lines. There's another slot there. To the power pole and not actually to the machine, but we'll kind of find those as we go. Oh, that's quite a moody image, isn't it? Where are we? We've driven past it. Oops. No? Sometimes it looks like these things are moving. They, some of them look like... I want to go there. Like that one, it looks like a claw rather than a sort of rib or something. Where's the... Is this the limestone? Here we go. Now there could well be a spider around here. It's come out at night. I seem to recall there are some in there, so we might get a bit of a shot. 100. This is 120 a minute. This is more like it. Right, so we don't need to bother overclocking this. We can just stick in So if that's 45, say there, then that'll be 90, and that's 135. So can't do all three, but not far off. So splitter, we'll just put the splitter there, and I'll just work it round as I need to. There, here, there. So none of them are going to work at 100%. I could always downclock them, I guess. So we put them again into one of these. I might as well just put another one on. Have that one there. Like that. Are you going to reach up? No. Always get that wrong. Put you a bit further up then. Like so. You reach now? Yes, of course you are. Good lad, good lad. Get some power on. Oh, there we go. Where's that? There it is. And then this needs to be level 2 to there. There we go. So now these guys need a recipe. Let's copy that. So just, yeah. Cool. Now, so we could slightly downclock it. Is that going to matter? Nothing really coming in now. Because it's like a tiny underdoing. Because it needs to be 40. Ideally. Oh, that'll do. So what's that? 90%. It doesn't matter. It's just, it's almost practice. I was trying to work out the way the clocking and the power works is weird, if I'm honest. And that's one of the things they're changing. They're going to make, well, they've asked for input, but I suspect they'll just make it linear. I get why they did it, but it's sort of a bit pointless because they ended up, I don't know if they really anticipated this, but they ended up making it so that it's actually better to underclock everything and just make more machines because resources are infinite. You can make infinite number of machines. I mean, obviously you can't because your computer would, just grind to a smoking, smoking ruin. But yeah, if you turn all of the clock speeds down to like 1% and just make 100 times them, then it uses way, way, way less power for the same production. Right, where was the limestone? Oh, it's over there. Okay, let's drive around to that bit. I was kind of anticipating doing this anyway. Don't fall in the hole. Oh, I've fallen in the hole. Can I get out of there? No. 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 Easy. Easy. Okay, what about this one then? What are you? Are you pure as well? You are, lovely jubbly. Yeah, it can't have been in their intention to basically encourage you to make 100 machines to do the job of one. It can't have been the ideal solution they were going for. Whoops. come on. Nope. Nope, play ball. Oh. Let's pop you in there then, and then we want a splitter, say. No, splitter. We'll put this a bit away so that I can get the belts round. There, say. Yeah, I thought about, because I was going on yesterday about, well, how do you get resources to you and stuff like that to build things? And the answer, of course, is you kind of don't. You build things to make the basics as you're building them. Yeah, let's just chuck it there. Oh, there's obviously a
Comply.
thingy somewhere around here. Didn't see that when I was running around. Interesting. Right, so yes, we want level 2 belt. We go to, oh, here please, but with clipping allowed, then we should be able to paste that in. Well, in fact, can't I do it with, can't you copy the clock speed settings as well? Yes, you can. I wonder where that is.
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
Right, power. Power pole. So, here. Did that connect? Oh, it did. Okay. And then should be a power pole somewhere around here. There we go. All good? All good? Did I get the right belt there? Yeah, because it's producing at the rate that it's coming out, which is what we want. And then equal splitting there. Super duper. Right. So, as I say, there is a limestone down there. Let's leave that for now. And instead we'll head back in a sort of a loop and see what we've made. I guess if we just grab what we've got so far. Should have made about 100 or so while we've been messing about. A few hundred or so, not 800 or so. Okay. So, last couple of weekends, why I've been away. Last weekend it was Easter here in the UK. Well, Easter moves because of the whole weird, there have to be 4 Thursdays in the Pentecost of the afternoon of the thingy, I don't know, some religious reason to do with number of Sundays that Jesus did something or something like whatever that all is. So Easter moves, but I also seem to recall that that's based on when you celebrate Christmas, and not all countries celebrate. Well, I mean, fundamentally, not all countries celebrate Christmas. Full stop. But there's also, you know, because there's like Passover and all those sorts of things. But in the UK, being a previously a predominantly Christian country, predominantly atheist now, actually. Anyway, the Easter holiday both moves and is in the range of sort of February to April, basically. This year, I think, was about as late as it can be. But anyway, it was Easter. I wasn't really doing any Eastery things because I'm not a religious person. But I did a whole load of... Oh, is that it? Is that all you've made? Did a whole load of domestic stuff. One of which was chopping down some trees. So a good... It's ages ago now. I hadn't realised, but a good while ago, someone... Because the neighbours complained about some trees in the back garden. They're like self-seeded ones. They're not ones that anyone would have planted. They're just the seeds of just, you know, self-seeded, and then no one's, you know, chop them away, basically. It's that sort of a situation. Oh, I've fallen off and survived without any damage. What the heck happened there? I think I must have scraped down the rock, maybe. Huh. Yes, but a guy, and so basically, let's say neighbours complained, so the landlord hired someone to come and chop some of the trees down. He couldn't chop them all down because there were birds nesting. Now, the birds that were nesting are what are widely considered to be pest birds. Pigeons, basically. So that's where that is. But apparently he's legally not allowed to, or something. I don't know whether it's right or not. But I mean, he did a good job and stuff. So you know, it wasn't like he was half-arsing it or anything like that. But basically, he couldn't chop some of these trees down because the birds were nesting and had chicks, in fact. And I can't imagine that's a pleasant part of the job if you're not an exterminator or whatever. Killing some nesting chicks is probably a bit grim. Is that it? Is that all I've been able to do? Nuts. Yeah, so he didn't chop them all down and he left a few. And I tried to get him to come back, but could never really work it out. And to finish it off, basically, once they'd... Oh, computers. Once they must have gone, you know. So I couldn't get him to come back. I didn't try very hard, if I'm honest, but yeah, so he couldn't... he didn't get rid of all the trees, basically. So I was like, right, well, I'll just chop these last couple down. Because they didn't look, compared to what was there, it didn't look like a lot of trees. And about 5 hours later, I still hadn't chopped them all down. And I just had a massive pile of trees, you know, dead trees, basically, in the back garden. So it was like, this is a bit of a bigger job than I was anticipating. So I'm going to get a chainsaw, basically. I don't know if I'm going to rent one or not. But you can get them for like 50 quid. I hadn't realised they were so cheap. I'm going to get a chainsaw. So I've got a little bit of holiday coming up. So I'll chop up all of these dead trees in the garden and stick them in the recycling. Because it's like... because the way, you know, trees are with loads of spindly branches, it looks a lot more... You know, I was able to carry these trees. They're not massive, great trunk things. It was just I hadn't appreciated it. It's several sort of wheelie bins worth of, you know, dead tree. But I'll just chop them up and steadily stick them in the... nope, wrong thing. Train station. Finally. Let's take out one of these. In fact, if I get rid of this, like this. I keep hitting the wrong button. Like that. That should give us some back. Can I reach that? I can't reach that. No. No, too far away. Reach it now? No. No. Okay. Oh, come on. That wasn't a big drop. Yeah, so I got another job for my next bit of holiday. But yeah, I also cleaned the... sort of deep cleaned the bathroom and the kitchen because it's still my intention to move this year. But I've been looking at some of the prices and rent has gone up hugely. Right, so all I'm trying to do here is establish the height of the train station so that I can build around it. Because I don't know how many trains we're going to end up having. But I want to do my underslung train platform thing again. Because I think that looks quite cool. So, we need to know how high the walls need to be. If I zoop up. Zoop up. Oh, right. Right, so foundations. We use... I keep using the metal ones by default, but in fact, is it less? It's 5 and that's 7. Can I use something else that's not? And that's 5. 5. Oh, so there's everything. No, that's 7. Okay. So this is the cheapest. So if we zoop that up, yeah, I've not got enough stuff, have I? Don't think, unless that's the right height. Oh no, that'll work. Now, I say, I want to sort of do these hidden floor things. So if this was attached there. Oh, it's because I've run out of stuff rather than... So that would leave enough clearance for the station. How much room then do I need to leave? How big does this underfloor thing... Because I'm thinking one underneath this, so basically a floor underneath here that is the raw materials. So I won't put this in at the top now because I haven't got the stuff, but there's like a hidden floor essentially underneath here, which these guys load into. In fact, I should put it in, shouldn't I? Because I need to establish. I need to establish if this is too high. Oh, I haven't got any concrete. Where was the nearest one? So I thought I'd half filled that chest with concrete, so I hadn't anticipated we'd run out so quickly. I wouldn't have built such a big platform if I'd have known. It's just to avoid going back and forth, because it takes like 5 minutes. Okay, so 250 is enough to work out what we need to work out. So I've never done this before, so I'm about to mess it up. But if we say we've got so that's 3 4-meter wall sections, which is basically as big as the factory back home. If we then have a floor, no, other side please. No, like this, right? And I use, I'll bring them up with the inserted things, but inserted things. These, I've got logistics. These guys. So I'll pop some of, we'll lift it up with these. And the question is, will this reach? So if, say it was, whatever it actually ends up being. Oh, no, isn't that? Yeah. Okay. So that's more than long enough, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So if we bring stuff over on, on the belts to this underfloor, and then we use the underfloor to basically move things around. Maybe there'll be some chests in there? That would make some sense, wouldn't it? So, can I get over to one of those? So, if this had... Do industrial storages fit? That's very difficult to tell. Let's go and see if we can get a bit closer and work on that. Oh, it looks like an industrial storage would fit in. Would it? Because it's tacked right on the end, isn't it? So I can probably take out, say, this bit. So, oh yeah, they fit in. Awesome. So, would it work? Would it work if? Oh no. So if I wanted to like put a third one on, obviously we can stack the belts however we want in here, because we'll be able to do loads of levels. Logistics. Oh, I've got one splitter. There we go. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one clipped through in a horrible way. Because we're talking iron. Well, let's have a look. So we're talking iron, copper, coal, limestone. Guess there's caterium. I don't know if there's any sulfur here. But I mean, the caterium I think we would sort out independently. So these factories are all about... Because if we bring up coal, that lets me do steel as well, basically. But yeah, whether I make use limestone here, probably not. But that's why we're going to have potentially lots of train stations, so that I can just run it around. So we could have iron ore at one level, copper ore at one level, coal at one level, limestone at one level, and just keep them all on the same level. Okay, so that all fits, I think. Yeah, okay. Now this level of height, this height here, then avoids the train stations. I'm not going to do like stacked train stations or anything. They'll all just be on one level. Effectively, this is... Oops. Not effectively. This is the level of our manufacturing floor. I'm thinking one giganto floor, rather than have sort of screws on one level and well, rods on one level, screws on another level, that type of thing. Okay. The question then is, how big? How big does this need to be? Now, I have done some maths, as I say. Have I got the thingammy? Factorio Lab, there we go. So just to support what we need, I mean, this could, in theory, I guess, become a mega factory for like all cables, all wire, all screws, all rods. But yeah, so basically we need 235.2 smelters making copper ingots, for example. I'm not going to do any overclocking or anything like that, just because that ramps up power demand enormously. Which is the biggest one? So that if we were making all, see, part of the problem there is I need the copper for other things. I wasn't anticipating making all the sheets here. How can I filter this down quickly and easily? Or maybe I should. Maybe I should just make, because doesn't copper also need to go into a nuclear thing? I think there's something like that. It goes to copper powder or something. It's called something like that. There we go. So copper powder is used in nuclear pasta. Oh, but you make it out of copper ingots. Okay. So I guess you just crush up copper ingots effectively. Okay. So we could have, because this is the thing, do I want to, when I'm saying about moving things around, I don't really need to move iron ore. I could just move iron ingots. But say the trouble with that is I don't think I've got enough. If that's level 2. Oh no, this was the halved one, wasn't it? Just fiddling about with, yeah, okay. So if that was 4, 4 and 12. Sorry, you can't see this, but it's basically Factorio Lab. Yeah, it's now 470 smelters. If I turn off, say, the copper sheet, it only goes down to 351. What else are they going into then? This is my only problem with Factorio Lab. It tends to be a bit difficult to work out what you've done with complicated recipes. So what else would copper be used in then? Well, I guess it's wires and cables, isn't it? So actually, let's turn that back on. So if I turned off the nuclear pasta, it goes down to 302. Turn it back on. It goes up to 470. So the nuclear pasta is using a lot of copper dust. The point of this is I don't really want to do centralized smelting as such, because there's no like benefit in a sense to. It's not like Factorio where it's a 2-to-1 ratio for smelted products, so it's more efficient to move around, iron plate than it is iron ore. That doesn't apply here. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio. Because if I did all of the copper ingot production here, then I would need to bring in copper ore here, which I guess is not a problem as such. It's just more complicated. I was anticipating sending it out from this factory rather than bringing it in. So if I turn that off, what happens? Yeah, it goes down to 310. So I've also made sheets somewhere else. So it's basically wire and cable. Then we're down to 190, so we could do 200 copper smelters. What about the iron side of things? So that's 240 already. But I don't need. Well, this gets complicated, doesn't it? Because what else are they? I think it's obviously used for something else. Because that's steel, though, isn't it? Oh, all the iron plates are going into reinforced iron plate. That's interesting. Huh. So if we just did rods here, rods and screws, say. So this factory is going to make cable. What else is using copper then? I'm just not as familiar with the recipes as I need to be, like I am in Factorio. So this is making, what else uses copper then? Why is that not showing the tree like that? Right, so either way, the biggest number is the cables, the wires, sorry, which is absolutely bonkers, 377 constructors. I think I'm going to have to halve the numbers. We'll have to go with 2. Because there's no way I've got the patience to do that. Oh, I could turn that off as well. See if that makes a difference. So the wires is now the biggest one, and it's 188.6. So we could put in 200 constructors making wires. I mean, half of them go into cables, so it's not like, you know, we need to load them in. But it's 21 what? Level 3 belts of cables, of wires, basically. That's the sort of scale. And so this is what I'm saying. I'm only doing this to try and make 2 nuclear pastas a minute. And at that rate, it will take sort of 8 hours to run them through. And this is what I'm saying about this game. Is a bit of a chronic one for the scale-up problem. Why is that not? Bit of a chronic one. Moved all my windows about like an idiot. Because I'm an idiot. There we go, that's better. What I need is a 3rd monitor. That makes life so much easier. Right, okay. I think I've decided, by the way, I'm going to actually turn off I'm going to contact support and ask if I can stop being an affiliate, because I just don't like the idea of the pre-roll ads, given that I know, and from my own personal experience, you get quite a high bounce rate, so people just stop watching. They'll just click away, basically. You have to watch a pre-roll. And the only way I can stop pre-rolls is to run actual adverts, and I'm not organised enough to do that in an organised way. Plus, it doesn't work how it says it does on the wiki. A minute ad is meant to give you 30 minutes of no ads, of no pre-roll, but it doesn't, it only gives you 20. Which means I'd have to be running adverts every 20 minutes. And you can't stack up adverts, so you can't have like a 5-minute advert break. It's all a bit sort of rubbish, in my opinion, so I think you may well just turn it off. Because there are other people just going in, and the small handful of people that are interested in watching, I'd rather have them here than any notion of making money. Not that that's why I did it. I wanted the channel points. Right, okay. We need to go and grab a load of more concrete. Yeah, I think I'd turn it off. I jumped the gun, basically. I think because I assumed it was more flexible than it was. I don't know why I assumed that. I mean, it's Amazon, isn't it? They'll make as much money as they can. But like, apparently 90% of the money for adverts goes to Twitch anyway, so it's like there's so little point in me having pre-rolls or any form of advert. It's like I think we might have to head home. I wanted to avoid that, but we've only made 500. That's rubbish. Okay, so in that case, if I... Because I should have an entire, industrial containers worth of concrete back at base. Okay, so if we put in a container, or yeah, a storage container here, we put sort of everything we can, that'll fit, sort of thing, in there. That gives us oodles and oodles of room. In fact, we're going to need to refuel. So I think this fuel is actually better. I mean, fundamentally, for adverts, pre-rolls, bits, or any of that to be worth doing, even channel points, there'd need to be someone watching. It's a bit sort of completely random whether people watch. I mean, nobody seems to be interested in watching me doing this, which I don't mind. Say it's not why I watch it, but it's not why I do it. But what's the point in enabling it all and just annoying the very tiny handful of people that will click? And, and maybe hang around. Yeah, and therefore wouldn't click, and therefore would click away, sort of thing. What's the point in annoying them for 100th of a fraction of a penny? Which I wouldn't get anyway, for like months and months and months, and anyway, because you have to stack up like 100 quid's worth of revenue before they'll even pay you. It's almost like the whole ecosystem is designed to work against you. Where we go? We're going up. We've gone all the way. Let's go up here. Keep doing this. Also, to be totally frank, I wasn't expecting the level of complexity of it all. I thought it'd be better, like, organised and set up. Behind the scenes, a lot of it's really quite complicated to do, and like basically almost completely opaque in sort of how you're meant to do things. So yeah, I think we're going to turn that off. I'll give it a couple of weeks though. But if, and this, I mean, this is a bad example week because, as I say, there are much, much bigger streams in the Satisfactory community compared to, say, Factoria or Dyson Sphere Program. So nobody watches anyway. So it's difficult to know whether it's having any impact. If your baseline is 0, you've got nothing to compare it to, basically. So, oh, I've come the wrong way. Can we get through there? Yeah. Why are we so low down? Yeah, so that was last weekend, was the big domestic adventure over Easter. I always do a spring clean anyway. It's not like it was weird. It was just the weird bit was chopping these trees down. But the weekend before that, I went to WASD. So WASD, which is an event that's been created to fill the hole that's been left by the end of RESD. RESD was an event, a video games event, like PAX basically, run by the same people. Readbot, I think they're called. But RESD was held at Tobacco Dock, which is a very quirky, weird little venue. Literally the dock where they used to unload tobacco during the days of Empire. I'll just grab these floating nuts. That's what she said. And they've turned it into like a convention centre. But it's all sorts of small rooms basically. Yeah, you see, that's only used 50 odd. So it's slightly less efficient, but it stacks to 200, you see. Right, so let's take these out. And then we can sort of... Is it worth putting something in there? Not really. Let's head over to our other chests, which is where I've got all of the, organics and all that sort of stuff, so we can keep them all together. But then our concrete is right here. So let's have just a quick check. Yeah, you see it's nearly full, so we can take basically all of that. So I thought I'd already taken a load over, but clearly not. I wonder what I've done with my what did I put in there? I put the wrong things in. No, we might as well grab another one of these. There's loads of them in here, but it's absolutely stuffed. I can make more. This is the like the backup emergency bio burner thing. So what's it using? It's leaves at the moment. So let's put the leaves in there. And chug through that. We could go and quickly have a look at the steel plate things. Take a handful of them with us. Is that on this level? I think it is, isn't it? Always worth grabbing some screws as well. Oh yeah, there we go. These are starting to back up. So we might as well have a bunch of them. What do we want? Concrete. That's other side. So if we go down here. It's a very long way to come for a little bit of concrete, but I say those other machines aren't working quick enough, really. So just take all of it? Might as well. Yeah, on then. Right, so how are we doing? About halfway through stream, so hopefully we can get the floor laid. And I can start... In fact, let's have a look at... If I wanted to make... Like... Wrong one. 300 of these. I would need rods and cables. How many rods and cables do I have? A lot? Enough for 300? No. Where would they be? These rods would be delivered by the train. Because we might as well fill the gap, basically. Or, put stuff in, because we've got a bit extra there. So we might as well. No. Rods are in here. No. Here. Yeah. So we might as well get a couple of hundred of them, and then cables is the next. Wires rather is the next level up. So the idea, I mean, basically these are going to get replaced. Is the idea? So rather than be making, cables at this factory like that, we'll bring them in. Wait, was it? It's rods and wires. Okay. And if I wanted to make constructors, that's reinforced plates, isn't it? So motors. I don't think we need assemblers, but we might need foundries. Okay. I'm just thinking we could grab some more, because there's a bit of room in the exploder as well. Yeah, so let's go and put some stuff in the exploder. Oops, wrong area. Yeah, so if we put these in here, and that as well. Oops, that as well. Okay, so we can put some more of these in. And what was the other thing? So if we wanted to make frames and whichever it is, that is rotors. I don't know that it'll be making them because I cut off the supply of steel tubes. So we want loads of steel, reinforced steel plate, modular frames, where are modular frames? Won't be on this level, will it? So we want. And this is the cables again. Yeah, so all this will go, and it'll, this factory will be dedicated to maybe making, computers or supercomputers or something. So it's higher level stuff that requires fewer machines, but lots of materials. So we can make this a sort of a train hub. I think this is the wrong. Oh, that's stuffed. Look at that. Oh, there we go. This is the badger. So if we take a bunch of these, and then we're going to find, because frame materials are the modular ones. They stack to 50, don't they? I think they're on this level. No, this is motors, but we need one or more of those. Why have I walked straight into the mess of machines? Because I'm an idiot. Now, which is it? Is that a motor or? See, that's empty. You see, that's empty. Is this empty? No. What are they? They're rotors. Is it rotors we need? So it should have just gone up. Ah, I think it is. So if I do that, 284. Yeah, so it's them that we need. Okay. So how much room have I got? If I take that, maybe if I put one back. Okay. Now if we can find some frame materials, next level up, maybe. Oh, I've fallen down again. So I get stuck on something there. where are the frames? I wonder if that's them. No, that's automatic wiring. No? Ah, what's this? Oh, look at all of them. Absolutely drowning in the lads. Cool. Okay, so we got tons and tons of stuff. So hopefully that should be enough to keep us going. Oop. Whoops. Ouch. No. Right. Yes. Okay. So I don't know what the sort of solution is to this, other than if you make factories that have all of the bits in, then I guess you could set down a train station, you know, and send a train out to go and pick stuff up. Maybe. So, you know, if you've already set up a factory that makes all of your concrete, but how do you get to that without having basically reached, you know, close to the end game anyway? Certainly trains and stuff is actually fairly late game. And you can't... The only way you can do... Because trucks would seem to be sort of the logical solution to that. But you can't make them follow you, so you can't have like a train of trucks following you. I don't think. You know, I couldn't tag them to follow me, follow the leader and fill up, you know, 10 trucks with stuff. And the loader-unloader for trucks only does one item. So you need an absolute army of them. What are you doing? So yeah, ferrying it back and forward seems to be the only solution, but that seems a bit rubbish. Because there are drones as well, but they carry... Oh... They carry a tiny amount of... Oh, you're not going to let me through there. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank the Lord for suspension. Oops. Yeah, they carry a tiny amount of stuff. The drones. There he is. He nearly killed me, as I say. Yes, anyway, so I played a lot. I get a weird thing. It's the other reason I knew I wasn't going to stream last week. I get a weird thing when I do these events where I get it's not burnout, but it's like the same sort of effect where I've played loads and loads of different games, and it's almost sort of overloaded my brain. And I don't really want to play anything. That's why I was messing about with Autonauts this week, because it's the sort of game where you can have a couple of hours and you set something up and then you just leave it running. That's probably not the best way of doing it, but it's perfectly fine. So I didn't actually, I sort of played it without really playing it. For a lot of the time that it was running, as it were. But yeah, so played a load of games. There was some really interesting games actually. I was quite pleased. One of the big sort of selling points to the event was it was the first time they've made a demo available for 2 Point Campus, which is a follow-up to 2 Point Hospital. I kind of liked 2 Point Hospital, like conceptually, but didn't actually kind of find it that fun. in the end, because the sort of problem with it, the problem I had, well, I had two problems with it. One's very snobby, which is that it's sort of set up to be, it's basically a console game. And I, absolutely no problem with console games, but it's building and management, and to me that is, graphs and charts and tables and that sort of thing. I wonder how far you can actually drag these guys. Which is mouse and keyboard to me. That's how you play that sort of game. This sort of game. And it's sort of, they've done their absolute best to make it so that you can play it on console, which is laudable in a way. But in reality, where did those even go? Did it immediately put them on there, or is there a little chesticle? Huh, I wonder if it sticks them in to your hand slot. Interesting. Anyway, but so that's a bit snobby of me, though. It's not really a good reason for having not quite enjoyed it. The real reason was because of the sort of gameplay loop they'd done, which was basically the sort of, it's basically Theme Hospital, but like a modern version of it. And so it's the same, it's a very British sense of humour. It's quite sort of, dark is maybe the wrong word, but can I put one of them down? No. I think I might have given myself a bit of a space problem. Maybe if I put... No, that wouldn't work, but it's just swapping them over. Is there anything I can... No. Let's just build some of this concrete. That'll flush it out of our inventory. But yeah, so they'd have a lot of... They're like joke diseases, so it's like... I can't think of an example, but... Like a literal reading of the name of a disease, like so... Lightheadedness. That was one in it. So the person is suffering from lightheadedness, and what it was in the game was they literally had a light bulb for a head. That's the joke, as it were. Which I liked of it, and that wasn't the problem. The problem was that what would happen is there would be outbreaks of these diseases. And you would need to build an entire new room to deal with these diseases. And that was it basically. That was the entire gameplay loop. You would, new disease, build the new room with the new machine. And they were fun, so like you would cure lightheadedness by unscrewing the person's head and screwing a proper head on. So that's all good stuff. But why am I building at this level? But my problem came more that the loop was just, build a new room to treat a new disease continuously. And you would, sort of have to hire the right people and stuff and that sort of thing. And that was kind of it. There wasn't any real... You couldn't specialise your hospital to, be the curer of lightheadedness type thing. And it had like a map that you would build hospitals in, and it was just a way of introducing new diseases, but it was exactly the same loop. There was no sort of specialisation to it. And it sort of makes sense because, they're just random members of the public that you're curing of a disease. There's no depth to the NPCs or anything. But 2 Point Campus, it looks like you can, so you could make a university that is specialised in particular types of education. And obviously they're jokey ones, you know. But, so for example, they've just recently revealed there's like a wizard training, which was a bit weird because it's not a joke. It's just wizard. It's not like, it's not some clever pun. It's wizard. I mean, there are, so like night school, as in the real world, that's learning at night. But this is a school for teaching people to be knights, basically. So that's the sort of joke. But yeah, so you could make a university that is you know, well, basically like Hogwarts or something like that, you know. Ooh, crunchy. But say it's a case of, you know, you don't have to have, or it looked like you don't have to have, you know, the teaching university course for every single type of student. You can just make a university that is dedicated to a particular, you know, group of courses or one single course or whatever. And your students are staying there more permanently. So there's more opportunity for, you know, kind of just educating that one group of people sort of thing. So that was quite promising. It's still got the, you know, same UI thing. Something else I played that was sort of worth, I'm going to keep a good eye on, was a game called Ozymandias, which is based on the poem, the Shelley poem. Ozymandias, King of Kings. It was Ramesses II, basically, before they knew who that was. But it's basically like a 4X strategy game, but like with all of the complexity stripped away, which, I'll be totally frank, that is my big complaint about Civ 6. There's too much in it. It's just got too many layers of stuff in the game. You know, there's like an entire, and each one is like an entire game in and of itself. And it just gets so complicated and so confusing. Particularly if you leave it for a while. And none of the systems are bad, you know, it's not like any of the, you know, parts of it are bad, you know, gameplay mechanics. It's just that there's too many. It's just too much, too confusing. Too much to keep track of. Particularly with someone like me who does like a fairly generalist way of playing. I think what they intended for you to do is like super specialise. But yeah, so it strips it right back. So you don't even have combat in it as such. You have armies, but they're more like a way of exerting influence on neighbouring tiles, rather than winning wars or anything. And you claim tiles just by clicking on them. You don't have to use settlers or any of that sort of stuff. Well, there are settlers, but they're like inherently built into the construct of the game. You clicking on them is the settlers, basically. And you have science and other mechanisms, but you just spend them. They're just like points to spend. And what they were going for is a 4X that you can play in an afternoon. You know, you can play that particular map or level or whatever in an afternoon. So that's why they've stripped it all back down to sort of the basics, and it really works. It's a lot more like playing a board game version of Civ, I would say, and that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Is that level? Okay, so that's about the right size on that one. Okay, so I haven't filled it all out, have I? Just sort of ended up with random bits and pieces. Okay. Let's try and sort of square the platform off. So I need the hover pack really to make this a bit easier. So it looks like it's even bigger over here. This is going to be probably going to be too big. But let's see if we can find the corners. So you match up to that corner and work across. Is this about right? Whoops. Oh, so I've gone too far over anyway, haven't I? Could it be this one? I think that's a corner. Yeah, we'll work with this. Imagine laying all this down in the pre-zoop times. Blimey. Okay. I guess. Click that. Not too far away, is it? Okay, let's go across there then. No. One more. No. One more. No. One more. One more. What else was good? There was a game called Cult of the Lamb, which looked really interesting. It was like a hybrid between a roguelike dungeon crawler, like Hades, and sort of a management sim. So you would basically recruit, or you would rescue captives, and they go back to your base, and you give them jobs to do. So, you know, they make food and they mine iron and things like that, which you then use to, you know, well, to feed your cultists, but also to, you know, make weapons and all that sort of stuff. Upgrade yourself, make healing items, all that sort of thing. But yeah, it was actually quite fun. I don't get on too well usually with roguelike games. The non-permanence of roguelikes has never really sat well with me. I don't like playing a game for 4 hours and then suddenly you're dead and you've got to restart. You know, I don't save scum my way through XCOM to play games where, you know, hours and hours worth of progress is just lost in a second. It's just not my type of game. So maybe that'll be a bit of a letdown for me from that point of view, in that, you know, if you build up this thing, but I don't know whether it was proper roguelike from that point of view. I don't know whether you die and you're dead. Because one of the things I like about Don't Starve, in that it's got that element to it as well, of you die and you're dead and you lose it. But lots of ways in Don't Starve of, like, basically reviving yourself, cheating death effectively. Oops, how are we doing? So we've got 3,500 left still, so that should be enough for this floor, I think. It's a big floor. Big floor. But then we're going to be making a lot of stuff on it, so... Oops. What else was there? Oh, another one was... I'd never heard of it. A game called Hard West. It was actually Hard West 2. It seems to be a bit... I don't know if it's inspired by Red Dead 2. But the indie scene seems to have gone a bit mad for Western games. You know, as in cowboy and Indian Western games. Because there was that Weird West that came out recently. There have been a few more. And this is very similar. It's like the Western, but as if they were like, you know, cults and stuff that were, you know, real cults, as it were. You know, with magic and all that sort of stuff. So, oh God, it's getting crunchy. Right, what was I saying? We needed, was it 200? Let's have a look. So if I was to smelt, pop on Factorio Lab again. If I was to do all of the, whatchamacallit, wires here, then I would need 188.6 constructors. It's a lot of constructors. I don't think I can even make that, can I? But what we can do is start to look at how big that would need to be. Have I literally got 8? I've not even got any cables. Okay. But we made a lot of room in our inventory. So let's go and grab a whole load of cables. So if I was to make, say, 200 constructors, what do I actually need? 200 would require 400. Which I've got plenty of. Whatchamacallit? Where's me? There it is. So I need 400 of them. Then I would also need... Where are my stairs? There's my stairs. So I'll make 200. I think I need 1,600 cables. Be amazed if we've got that, but well, I'm not anticipating having them all in a straight line or anything, but it's going to be something like that. So we want those cables. Did I grab any more on this? No. So how many constructors can I make? A lot, but sort of not enough. Let's nip over to the other one, because I think there's a load of cable in there. But yeah, Hard West is like XCOM like game. But it has the element of so in the Gears of War tactical game that came out a couple of years ago, it was actually pretty good. Oh, it's not that much cable, is there? Oh well. Yeah, it was actually pretty. In fact, if I take wire as well, grab them. Yeah, it was pretty good, but it had this mechanic where basically your action points refilled if you made a kill. And I think they refilled for everyone in line of sight. It's a while since I played it, but it had a very similar mechanic where basically if you made a kill with your character, that character's action points refilled. So the Native American character. I said Indians earlier on, didn't I? That was bad. Native American character had like a melee kill, and you could basically go on a bit of a rampage and essentially just kill enemy after enemy after enemy if they were quite close to each other, because you could stack up, or you would refill your AP each time you did a kill, and the melee attack was sufficiently powerful. I think it was meant to be a leveled up character, so you wouldn't get that to start with. But so my understanding is you can use these square bits to line things up. Oops. So that's what I'm trying to do. But that's too close, isn't it? Let's leave a bit of space here. So it needs to be lined up with you. The corner there. Oh, we want a bit of space there. So if we're making, so that's 2, 3. We can't zoop these, can we? No. See, that would be a workaround. Instead of giving us blueprinting, if you could zoop buildings and like just build a line of them. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want to leave a gap to help me count? I think so. So rather than there, put it there. So that's 2, 4, 5. I'm trying to get a sense of the scale. So that's another 5. So we'll put one in, take one out. So that's 10. Okay. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 15 then. But yeah, mechanics-wise, it was XCOM. So, you know, turn-based strategy with cover and that sort of stuff. But then it also had another layer of sort of a map layer where you explored a map. Because the start of the game, I guess, was straight after the first game. And so you were all sort of leveled up and, you know, they used it as like a tutorial. 2, 3, 4, 6. And you basically, as you would expect, you failed, or you get killed, or however it sort of, I can't remember how it phrased it, but you lose your party and then you go off around the map trying to find them again. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you lose all your skills and your party members and that sort of thing. But it was really fun. I was quite impressed with it. So I think I'm going to check that out. You know, check the first one out. Yeah, I played loads. There was all sorts of stuff I wouldn't really normally play, which is the point of these. Oh, there was another one. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a arcade manager simulator, where you basically you work in a laundrette in the 80s, or essentially you're forced to work in it, from what the guy was telling me, by your family. So that's sort of as many as we can fit on the platform. We've obviously got the gap. I quite fancy doing them as like rows of 5, but I don't know if that works out in terms of belt speed and all that. I'll have to rework that, but that'll help me count how many I can get. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 2, so 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Would it not be convenient if we could fit 50 on? It would, my friends, it would. Because then we can have 50, 100, 150, 200, and we've kind of got what we need. With a bit of room for fanciness as well. It's a bit of fanciness. I say I need to work out, so if this ended up being, wire, so it's 30 a minute, and you're feeding in 15 copper ingots. But am I then just going to have, rows and rows of wire? Or are we going to feed those into, cabled directly? And so we've got wire, cable, wire, cable. How am I going to do it, sort of thing? That's what I need to work out. But what we need is a platform, really, that will let us fit 50 on, I think, in a row. Because for this factory, the numbers are sufficiently big. A row of 50 constructors is not a bad, or rows of 50s of things, because we need more. 188 I quoted is literally just to produce like the minimum thing, and we need more than that because we're going to need to build other stuff as well. 2, 3, 4. Oops. 5. So that's 5. Okay, so that needs slightly more. So that's 49. So if I put 2 more rows in. Is that going to work? So if we put, so that's 50, isn't it? Because that's 2, 4, 5, 2, 5. And then that gives me a bit of room to do, fancy things. Yeah, okay. So platform that size lets me put 50 constructors on. Should let me put more than that in terms of smelters. Because the smelters are slightly smaller. So these badges, see, that's smaller. So we shouldn't have. Oh, we had rods. Did I not? I didn't pick any up, did I? Still in the container, I think. But yeah, a smelter is smaller. By, is it about a quarter or something? So I think you can fit 4 in the space of 3. I think that's how it works. Roughly. Or 5 in the space of 4 or something like that. But essentially we wouldn't, because it's like a 1-to-1. What I want to do. Oh no, of course you get more cables out, don't you? So actually we would need half as many smelters to support this. So that's not a problem. But then if we wanted to put the excess ingots onto a train, we need enough capacity to smelt all of the copper here, really, so that we can send it out as ingots. But that's fine. I mean, if we've got, enough room, sideways now is what we need to work on, basically. So if that's only 50, and I want, say, 200, we need a bit of room in the middle was trying to rotate it with the R key then. We need a bit of room in the middle for all of the shenanigans with belts. But what am I actually going to do? This becomes the question. Because I've left, effectively we've got, say, you know, because these don't quite feel, I'll try and avoid falling off the platform because we would definitely die falling off there. Because they're all right that way. But they don't, you know, it goes past the, it's not a single concrete block wide. And it's not even like 1.5. Okay. So it's less than 1.5 in there. So if it snapped to that corner, then the equivalent distance at the end would be up to this line here. So that would make them relatively even. But saying, what am I doing in terms of mergers and conveyors and oh, I've not got any rods, have we? Because you need more space than this if we want to elevate it. But we could also, well, you don't, because what you can do, which I didn't realise, is you can attach these. They literally attach properly, so you can then, you know, put that up like that, and then you can have mergers there. No, wrong button. Why is that not? Oh, does that not clip on? Oh, ooh. Why is it clipped on like that? Huh. But yeah, we can have the mergers in the middle then. Let's go and actually get some rods. Just swap that over. Yeah. Yeah, let's get some rods so we can play about with splitters and mergers and stuff as well. If you use the belts and, you know, they have a limited amount of sort of upward curvature that they'll let you do, but if you use those lift things, then it just literally takes it straight vertically up. And that's more space efficient, particularly if you're going to several levels. So if we have sort of 2 levels of belts right on top of each other. There we go, got loads of rods. Just didn't bring them with me. Let's also grab them. Do I need 150 of them? Probably not. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, if we end up with lots of lines of belts, because 50 machines is too many, you know. I think in terms, oh, sorry, in terms of the like, amount of the level of belts that I can cope with, as it were. So I've only got level 4 belts, which are 480. Would that be enough? So if it was 480 a minute, if we get you to make wire, then you get 30 a minute out of the machine. So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, what, 150, what, 30, 60, 90, 300, 450. So effectively 15 machines, it's 16, isn't it, machines, fill my max level of belt. I can't build them because I haven't got the encased beams, but imagine this is a level 4 belt. Oops. Come on. Come on. To get the right thing in a minute. So effectively 15 machines fill a level 4 belt. So I'm going to have to go, if I want 50 in a row, then we would end up with, that would be 30. If we were working on the ground, which we don't want to really. But that would be 30. That would be, what's that? So you got 15, 30, 45. So yeah, you need an extra one. Because that's 15, 16, 32, 48 machines, and I've got 50. So actually we would need 3 levels. Because the other option is, like I say, I could work in terms of, an underfloor to this, an undercroft. We could take this entire thing up a level. And we can have the wires basically feeding into the floor. So we could put in one of these here. And it spits it into the floor. And then under the floor, because we wouldn't need to have them all stacked on top of each other. I could just divert them sideways and we could have 4 lanes of wire working along in parallel under the floor, and some of them could go over here to cables. So we can have how close would it get? So maybe it goes there. Is that tidy? Is that neat? And then so it goes into that. $819 lifter. And then say I manage all the belts under the floor. It's going to be tricky to do without killing myself, because there's no floor under here. So, we could have. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily need to be a level, a 4-meter wall, but it means moving the whole thing up. That's the problem, because it would clash with the trains. I've not given enough headroom above the trains to have a separate floor in. How am I going to get back up? But yeah, so we could have that could lead into, a whole set of belts underneath here, feeding around. Can I reach up? Oh, I can jump up. But each set of machines is going to require like 4 belts, as I say. Running along. So if if we ended up with one, well, let's assume they all go underneath the machines. What does that look like? So if it was, would it fit? Oh, easily. We could actually fit 5 in the footprint. Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? The question then is, can we do mergers? Because we're going to have to merge them at some point. Do mergers fit underneath? Will they go into this underfloor that I've made? So it clips, but it's clipping in an area that I don't care about. So if we had a merger, because it won't let me just stick a merger on the end, will it? I can't just put one. I say this really triggering my fear of heights. So yeah, it won't just let me attach a merger to the end of... What the heck is that? Right, okay, don't quite understand what happened there. How far away that train station is. So, or will it? Is that attached? Or is it just clip-in? It didn't have the clip-in colour. Let's see if we can get it. What could I quickly make? Have I got any raw materials? We could make... Oh no, I can't make cables, can I? I was just going to test. You know, will stuff come out here? How am I going to power it? Ooh. I could, instead of doing that, I could just take you out, put a chest in. Could I? So we could put a container here. In fact, that might be useful to know. Oh, crikey, it's not like in the... So if I put something in this container, I don't think that's connected, it just sort of looks like it is. But let's test it. So if we put something in there, is it coming out at the other end? No. Wait, the belt's going the wrong way, isn't it? If I put the... So this would be a merger going in that direction. So I'm not quite sure what those colours mean. In terms of, is it connected? I mean, that's not connected, is it? It's not even lined up. So is that connected? That's the question. So this should be an output. There's nothing coming out at the moment, but as I say, I don't think the top's connected because of how I've done it. So if we take a lift here. What the heck? So if I... that's just in the wrong place. Because I know it clips to the actual machine, so we don't have to simulate that. So let's just put this back a bit. Line it up so it's there. And then we'll have that. And we want it reversed from there. So that's the input. No, dear. Farewell, cruel world. We're really dribbling down that hill. Oh, that's annoying. I knew that was going to happen. Ah, dear. A spam bot already. There's no one watching, but we got a spam bot. Right. Should be... port... spam... bot account... bot... and... was... bots... was... delete that message? Messages. Huh. Did I not delete the message? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh. I suppose technically that's an advert bot rather than well, adverts are spam, aren't they? So, well, so long as you're you're not Twitch itself, and then they're just how the world works. Right, so I need to what? I need to get back over there. Don't I have a tractor somewhere? If I do, it's not here. Where the heck is my tractor? There's a train. So we could hop a lift on this train. That's an awful way to walk. Right, okay, let us build a new car. How do we build a new car? I knew that was going to happen. I should have been more careful. I say I need the jetpack. How do I make the jetpack? Because even if I don't, don't use the jetpack to fly around as such, having it should stop me from... In fact, didn't I make one? There you go, I do have a jetpack. Huh. It's because I prefer having the legs on. That's why I'm not carrying it around. Forgot. Right, let's chow down on some berries. Get that health back up. Cool. Take them with us. But when... Well, no, actually, let's put them back for when we die again. Like so. And then what? We need to make either a tractor, a truck, or an exploder. So, tractor's going to be easier, isn't it? Because I've got all of those here. Oh, we're so slow. So we need modular frames, which are on light level four, I think. I should, in fact, if we build a couple, then for the next time I fall off and kill myself, we've got one sat ready and waiting. Oh, we're so slow. That's not modular frames. What did we need? We needed modular frames. The beacons are in the train thing, so we need rotors. Is that? Rotors aren't here, are they? I think they're next level up. Or the other way around, next level down. We shall soon see. Is this rotor? Yeah, this is rotary. Oh, we're so slow. These boys. So I'll make a couple of trucks, and then when I fall off next time, we can. I'll have one ready. I'll end up with an army of trucks at the other end for all the times I fall off. What do we need? We need modular frames. They're not here. They're on the next level up. No, they're not. Where are modular frames? Whoops. Huh. What's on this level then? Oh, it's more of them. Oh, that's where I'm obviously coming in. Okay. Oh no, I've got myself turned around. I'm thinking, so yeah, okay. That's what's confused me. So, what your frame should be? Here we go. So they're down at the end here. How many do we actually need? So if we were doing a tractor, it's only 5. Okay. Maybe I should put some just in the chest instead of making 10 trucks. It's only 5, so we'll have a stack of them. And then, as I say, we've got the... Oh, no. Can't fall as far. I can't fall between those gaps because I haven't got the legs on. Right. Let's grab some more of the biofuel, which should have cooked up. I wonder if the bots like that. I mean, I assume they don't. I assume there's some way of getting around it, but the blooming pre-roll should be back on. So, has that bot just watched a pre-roll? I'd be kind of at least some use to it if it's watched a pre-roll. It's strange though. I assume that's what people do. They have, like, in a sense, armies of bots, as it were, clicking on the page to watch the pre-rolls. But I imagine it's economically unviable. It costs you so much in... We can actually take some concrete with us, can't we? Let's build the truck first. Stop messing around. Is it this one with the beacons? No. This one? No. This one? Yeah. So let's take them. And let's make a T-rake tour. Which is the front? So we'll make a couple. We'll make a couple. I'll put them out of the way then. Let's put one over there, so I don't crash into them when I'm driving around. And then I'll put this stuff in here, and a bit more. That, we'll take that, so that I can make some more the next time I inevitably die. So, well, let's go and grab what concrete we can. You just get used to being quicker with the old... I'm running on it, yeah. With the legs on. So I prefer it to the jetpack. I didn't find the jetpack particularly sort of user-friendly. Right, so we'll grab all of that. I need to start making fuel again as well. I managed to stack up tons and tons of fuel, and I've kind of burnt through it all. I need to start making fuel again. Making fuel again. Right. Was it this one I put the fuel in? No. I didn't put it in either, did I? Right, let's put that in there. And let's hop on board. I don't know, at least this vehicle is that much quicker than walking, to be honest with you. But I might have to do some of these at some point, right? Clear out a load of rocks and stuff. With nobelisks. It's the way the vehicle behaves. When driving into it, it's really bringing the fun. There's no headlight on this. Headlights B. Why is that not one? Okay. It'll probably take the rest of the stream to get back now. So it is quite slow, this vehicle. But I got the bits to make another exploder. Oh. Watch me drop it in the river. Oh wait, am I going to be able to get across here? Maybe not. Maybe I can cheat? Yeah, there we go. Keep on trucking. Oh, there he is. Want to say hello? Is it behind me? I think it's behind me. Sounds like it's behind me. Yep, it's behind me. You're just gonna keep following me? Have you not got a home to go to? Honestly, this is getting a bit obsessive. I thought they had a range on them. I thought there was like a range where they basically stop following you. It's going to be quite annoying if it follows me right the way over to the desert. Because I got all my weapons are on my body. I do have a spare like slashy weapon, but I left it in the chest. Seriously, are you just going to keep going? Oh no, I think there we go. Is that finally it? There we go. I don't know if they changed that, but that seems to be a huge range that it follows you. Not sufficiently arachnophobic that I'd want to turn on the arachnophobia mode. But I've never been a big fan of spiders. It's all the legs, I think. Not a massive fan of any insect. Or I know they're arachnids, different genus, but scorpions don't like scorpions either. Too many legs. Too many legs. Can I get through there? Will I fit? Should do. There we go. So why is the headlights not working? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Right, it's fine, everybody. Maybe I should leave all these tractors here to mark the progress of my deaths. This is going to be pretty awesome, I think. I mean, it's big, but I mean, this is, you know, that's all of the copper wire we want. You know, for 4 sets of that. And I mean, like, as in that's it. I don't want to make copper wire anywhere else. I'll just take it out from here to wherever we need to go. Now, where would my body be? In fact, let's drive over to it. Since we're so slow. Where would my body be? Ah, I can see the chest marker now. It must have fallen off over here somewhere. I did kind of roll down the hill. I'm quite rolling. It's one of my properties. Appears to be here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Take all. There we go. Oh, okay. There's still some left. Oh, of course, because there's all the stuff I was holding. So if I put that on there, let's swap that out. So if I pop them up. Oh, I can't because it's not a proper chest. So we just build a little container. Organisation. Storage. Then I can put those away. Then I can grab the rest of the stuff. There we go. Now I can put it into my things. So say that the jetpack uses fuel is the other thing. I'll say I've sort of used up all the fuel. Because I've been a bit of an idiot. So if we put that there, that there, that there. I guess if I put that on, and maybe if I just put that in there, I just drop that. No, not enough room. How do I not have enough room? That doesn't make any sense. What's that flashing over there? Why is there something orange flashing? What is that meant to be? Oh, what's this? Oh, is this like telling me the tractor's run out, not got any fuel in it or something? Huh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, I can't quite hold all of them for some reason. Even though I was holding them before. Okay. I think what I'll do, I'll put... No. That in there. Oh, it's because I picked up the jetpack, isn't it? Right. There we go. Finally. Oh, dear. I made that painful, didn't I? Right, so let's see if we can... What was I doing before I unceremoniously died? I was working out whether those belts were connected. Okay. I quite like the idea of this massive, like, monolithic slab of a factory. It's producing, you know, the most basic materials, just churning them out. A bit like the Aesthetic Factoria series, where I've done a factory that, you know, it's a dirty, you know, smelt. That's what I was doing. I was trying to put one of these badges on here and getting horribly killed. Right, so let's try that again. So, reverse that. So that's the input. So we want the output to go to here. But why is that? No? Oh, for Pete's sake. All I'm trying to do is test it. Why did that go weird? What? Why did that go weird? So, lift there. That's an input. Why is it not showing the output? What? So if I put that there, will it connect to that? What can I do? I do each end separately? Because that's an in. I've not really used these before, as you can tell. Oh right, so you can do the... Ah, okay. And then can I put a merger? Because this is what I'm trying to test. And that's all. If I put that there, is it connected? So if I now put that there, no. No, that there. Does anything come out of this? No. Is that because I didn't put anything in the chest? Could be. We'll find out. So, reinforced plates are going through. And they are entering the lift. They are not coming out here. Okay. So it doesn't look like that connected. Let's try again. So a merger. That's a splitter. Merger. And we want an input there. So if it was going to connect, it should connect there. No, it's not connected, is it? If I do it with it being yellow, will that work? So if that goes yellow, so I'll snap it to... No? No, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, it does. That's pretty horrible, isn't it? Okay. I'm not a fan of that. But it's going to be hidden, so... Because what I'm thinking, you know, basically if we take each of them down... Oh, I nearly ran off the edge there. Take each of them down, then we can just have a belt going along here. You know, the level 4 belt. We just have a merger each time there's a new one comes down, so we'd have another one wherever it will be. Here, I guess. And then they just feed into a merger each time. And that'll just make it a lot simpler, basically. Because we can then, we can then divert them when we've got enough to fill invalid shape. Okay. Why did you let me do it then? You know, we can just do a little kink to take them round to a second path sort of thing. We can have 4 of those in parallel. And then the same footprint as the machines above them. So this is the footprint. So that actually is where the belt is, I think. Because of the weird merger thing. Okay. But that means this whole floor needs to go up one to fit this in and have room for the trains, or that needs to go down one, but we know if that goes down one, we won't have room for the underfloor for that. In fact, does that work? Did I mess that up? Because I think the whole thing needs to go up, doesn't it? Because if we're having the raw stuff... I mean, this isn't the proper floor for this anyway, because this would be the smelting floor. Unless I put the smelting on the same floor. Because this train... You know, there's no room there for me to put another... You know, that's why it's at that level. Because if I build there... Was it on zoom? Come on. I'm scared of that. Zoom there, then we're clipping through the train, which I don't want. Okay, but when I built this, how much room did I leave here? It's not enough, is it? Because I wanted 3? We wanted 3. Is that 3? Yeah, that's 3. 3 bits of wall underneath anyway. So if I punch a little hole here, I should be able to see. Yeah, there's not enough room anyway. Because that's only one. Oh, bugger. So I've done all that, and it's wrong. Because basically this... Ooh, yeah. I don't mind if that, you know, is interacting with this, because, you know, it looked like it's supporting it. I mean, it probably wouldn't be here anyway, but... Because, you know, we need to work out how far wide it needs to go, but... That's not fine, but it needs to go up one in order to have my 3 levels there anyway, because that's wrong. That needs to go all up by 1. So the real floor is going to be this one. Oh God. on here. I'm going to kill myself again, aren't I? The player is in the way. Oh, it's trying to zoom through me. Is that right? So, yeah. Come on. Come on. No, you're not going to clip to that. No. Okay, let's just do it here then. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So the real floor, you know, the fake floor needs to be here, the underfloor. And where the resources come into. The train floor needs to be here. That needs to be the train floor. Which means that this needs to go up one anyway. So simply in order to fit the train in, it would need to be at that level. But I've just established that I also want an underlevel, a logistics level in there as well. So all of this should be at this level. Is that what I want to do? How am I going to... If all the resources are coming into a floor beneath the trains... How am I getting it up to the smelting anyway? That doesn't make sense, does it? So what we really want is for there to be a smelting floor. Because I don't think I want to move raw materials around. And even if I did, it'd be better if they were, you know, maybe say the concrete or the limestone I'm moving around, but say it's more likely to be concrete or something. So actually, that is the first proper floor, and the underfloor is, you know, logistics floor hidden, but it's a layer of smelters on top of this. So this is a layer of smelters, like so, and then how do I just want to dogmatically do 3? I think I do. So then it's the trains, and the trains need to have clearance. They need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wall pieces. I don't know why I took that one out. That was the wrong one. So they need... Let's go up. These need 5 wall pieces. Whoa! These need 5. Where are we? Where are you? So if that's a smelting floor, and then that would be, no, clip to that one please. 3, 4. Let's get rid of all this. I'm just basically making traps for myself, aren't I? So 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would then be the trains. We've then got, I'll just put it on the top. That's the logistics. That's wires, and probably cables as well. So this floor actually needs to be all the way up here. Like that. Oh. Hmm. So, because what I can do now, if I am doing these underneath, these can just be like parallel, like rows. So we don't need a lot of space between them. Try and not fall down the hole. That's always advisable. So, oh, you're not clipping. So we could line that up. It couldn't be there because it's way too close. Could it be there? Yeah. Because we're gonna need like the reverse as well, as in, which is another consideration. If I've got 5 lanes of stuff going that way, and that's the exact footprint of a machine, I'm going to need 2.5 lanes going the other way. Well, going down here to feed the stuff in. So actually we probably need a bit of space. So rather than here, then we'll put it here. And that gives me a bit of room to do, you know, the copper ingots running that way as well. Or the other way, or whichever way I end up doing it. So, how much space have I left here? It's like an entire block, isn't it? So it's an entire block of space, and then the 2 required for the machine. So it's an entire block of space, and then the machine is there. An entire block of space, and then the machine is there. What's that then? That's 4. So that would be the 200 to make the wires. Oh, I've gone way over on time. What would this one look like then? So to do cables, it's only 76. You see, only 76. Because a row and a half, basically, if we did 50. What does the... Because cables is like the worst one. It's why I'm doing it. So rods is only 150 machines. But probably want 200 as well, because I'm going to have to overproduce anyway. So, you know, we could do... That wouldn't work though, would it? I couldn't do 100 cable machines. I could do maybe 90 or something, or 80. Because otherwise I'm using all of the cable to go to... all of the wire to go to cable. If I turned everything back on, what is the... You know, if this became the central copper smeltery, is everything turned on? I can't tell. That was irrelevant. I didn't need to turn that off. But if this became the central copper smeltery, because that, to me, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it would end up being 235, so it'd be a heck of a lot more machines. I suppose it's more about how much copper I can actually smelt at this location. That's more the consideration, because I don't think I've got... Are there 13 nodes of copper? Some of these are doubled, and some of them are pure and impure. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are 16 sort of things I'm not actually sure there are 30 copper nodes. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25. Yeah, there must be, because there's... I'm going to say, and that's... Yeah. Yeah, there's way more than 30. I'm going to say you've got quite a few pure ones, which are effectively double. And that's without any... I'll probably be overclocking everything. So actually, I probably only need, 15 normal, basically. Which is much more manageable than the numbers I was having before. Okay. Cool. So we'll pick up tomorrow. Basically, I might well go through and set these floors up. Build these floors. And we can pick up from there. I should have worked that out probably first. It didn't twig to me that I'd gone down more than the space I'd created. It's basically adding on that there meant that this was lower than I'd brought it up. The floor level would clip into this thing, and I didn't twig that until just now. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I say I will probably go through and do the concrete floors again, because it's just more and more zooping basically. Imagine building it all without zooping. Must have been insane. Right, so then let's pop my schedule up, just because it's what I always do. But basically, all weekend is Satisfactory. I'm relaunching the Satisfactory series. I'm kind of hoping that by the end of this weekend, I'll have done these basics. So we'll have got what I'm intending is for the desert to just be, because we'll do concrete as well. If that's the main thing we need to do, I think it is. But we'll do the concrete as well. And then we'll have like more rods, wires, screws, cables than I think we need. And they're the big ones. They're the big, production number ones. Then we'll have to set up the train system, which could be interesting. Hopefully there'll be enough space for trains in all the factory size we've done, and I can work out how many carriages and stuff. I'm not anticipating doing really, really long trains, probably shorter than ones I've been working with already. And whether I'll do a double-ended system or a single-ended system, I'm not sure. Probably double-ended. But yeah, so there's all that to come. So it'll be all this weekend. At the moment, I say I am affiliate. I am probably going to stop that because I don't like people having to sit through pre-rolls, given I'm a nobody streamer, and this isn't a source of income for me. It never will be. It's just a bit of fun. I just wanted the streamer points, but the channel points basically, and you can't get them without being affiliate and blah 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 blah. They also take a massive amount of setting up I hadn't anticipated. So yeah, I'm not sure that's the way to go. If you did want to catch up on any of these, then these are the links. So you've got the YouTubes, which is Trismegistus but alias to Triggles. You can follow me on Twitter for any announcements on stream that starts, and there is a Discord, which I've not set up either. I'm a bit rubbish at this, if you can't tell. It's all way more complicated than it should be, in my opinion. It should be a lot simpler than a lot of this stuff, but what do I know? Yes, so that's it for this weekend. That's it for today. If you've been watching, I hope you enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Satisfactory. Thanks for watching. Cheers.